often here with a quick video of me explaining my interface, because there was a lot of people asking for especially my UI, so I'll just go through it real quick, and I'm gonna leave links in the description below where you can just pick whatever you like from this video. It's gonna be a string to my whole UI, so you can just copy what I have, all the weak auras, and I'll just quickly show the add-ons that I use as well. So let's just start with LVUI. The way I've set it up here is just I want everything centered so I can easily have a quick glimpse at my cooldowns or the party frames down here whenever I do Mythic Pluses, so I don't have to look all the way to the sides. And the boss frames over here can be quite handy if you're using mouse over macros, or just to target some mobs in general on some bosses. Yeah, and I'll just show you my bars, because the only one I'm showing, or the two I'm showing, is my main bar here, which is all the cooldowns I want to track. And then I've got my other bar up here, which is just mounts, avalanche, elixir for some dungeons. And then I have my 6 gear sets up here that I switch around. So they just bind it up here. And let's just go in here. I don't know if it's gonna give you anything. I'll just leave my key bindings on while I talk here. And then the 2 bars I've got hidden is my bar 2, is with all my instants or spells without cooldowns. With the one exception being Master Spell. And the way I track Master Spell is just looking at my mana bar down here. So whenever I cast it, I know I'm losing a big chunk of my mana. And when my mana reaches around the percentage up here, I know that my Master Spell is ready again. So that's just the way I track it now. I don't feel like I need to know the 15 seconds, as I know it reaches here. So I know I can just cast it again. But most of the spells you see up here is just mouse over macros. So I don't need to target anyone. I can just dot them up by mousing over the targets. Even my dispels. See if I want to dispel some mobs. Like, let's say the Court of Stars guards, whenever they get the shields up. What else do we have? I've got the Purify Disease to dispel your tank with your part frames down here, like the bats in Darkheart Thicket. Just quickly mouse over the tank down here and dispel him. And these two is just whenever I levitate and I play around and I want to cancel my levitate, I just have a cancel aura for it, so if I click it, it'll cancel my levitate. And the second one here is just a separate macro to cancel my dispersion, because I don't want to misclick or jump out of my disperse by mistake, so I just have a separate macro for it. So let's say I just go into dispersion, I feel safe again, I can just jump out of it like that. Yeah. And just to get it in here, the third bar is just my mind control and mind vision. You rarely use them. You can use mind control, can be useful on bolstering weeks, and mind vision is really only in Court of Stars if you wanna check if you got certain professions or things you can use in the dungeon. Yeah. And the bar I have below my character here is just, well, consumables. Got my Fade, my Vampiric Embrace. Yeah. So that's pretty much the setup for LVI. So let's just hide the things here again. remove the key bindings, and we hit. So let's just go through the weak auras I got. Let's start with the current setup weak aura I have up in the top here, showing my talents and legendaries and trinkets. And it's just really for whenever I do mythic pluses. It's a good way for me to check whenever I gear swap. I'll just bring my character up here. No. Like, let's say I want to go into my trash gear. So I want my chest on, so I can see that I'm actually in it now. And this, like, if I go on bosses, so I can just quickly see if I actually equip the things I want. And the reason for having the two trinkets down here is for certain pulls. Where I want my high command trinket, I can just click it fast here, and I can just make sure up here that I actually got it on. And for packs where I feel that my prototype might ninja pull, I'll just equip the injector or a cannon crystal. It's just a quick way for me to swap like this, instead of having going into my character here and finding it like this. And my Cephas Vigor is just tracking whenever it's up, and the cooldown of it, so you can optimize the use of it. I've got my, if you just get some into void from here, my current haste is over here, and then on the left I've got my void form stacks. It's just to, the haste is kind of important to track, because your rotations will switch around 140% haste, where you only have one global between every void bolt you do. So just an easy way to track your haste. And then obviously my insanity bar here, I just want it to be kind of big so I can just easily see if I'm dropping really low whenever I need to pop my mindbender. I've got my tentacle ones. It's not going to tell you how many you have, it's just going to refresh every time you get one. And the reason for having the tentacle Vigor is so that if you get some good procs, around 20 or 25 stacks of void form, you can delay your mindbender. So it's just a good way to know. What else do we have? I've got my Pridus here, the prize one. It'll tell you whenever it's gonna be active. It'll also tell you the value it's gonna absorb. I've got my Fade Vigora. Can be useful on like skittish weeks, where you can go into melee if you have to and know that you're safe while it's active. Just get in and out like that. That's obviously the dispersion one. And got my Vampiric Embrace. And again, I have them kinda centered, so it's easy for me to see, while I can still see things around me. And let's just go into Vigors here, because there's also the interrupt one, but it's set to only load in 5-man dungeons, so I'll just take it off here just for showing you. So whenever you're doing dungeons and I interrupt a mob, it'll show the cooldown of it. It'll give you an idea of whenever you need to silence. And I'm gonna have a separate link for this one, because this is one that Naga made from Method. So I'll just give you a link to his Vigor site, where you can find a lot of other good stuff in there. And I'm just gonna turn it off real quick. There we go. see, did I forget something? Oh yeah, I got my Twist of Fate one. It's down here. Because there's some situations where you can optimize the use of Twist of Fate, like I showed in my Eye of Ashara run on the 4th boss. So have a way to know that your Twist of Fate is active. And next to it I've got my Concordance. It's not really important, but I just like to see whenever it procs. It's not going to change anything, but... did I miss something? I think I got all of it here. So just quickly go into the add-ons. I don't use a whole lot of add-ons. The ones I would recommend is just having angry keystones, bigwigs, and especially if you're using bigwigs, you should use the little wigs one, which is really handy in Mythic Pluses. It'll tell you, like in Neltharian's Lair, whenever the break has cast Avalanche, so you don't have to focus on the cast bar. You'll just get a note at your character that they're casting it, so you can just move and easily dodge it. It's gonna show you who has what in Court of Stars, what professions, who can use it. If you just quickly click it, you can see if someone in your group can use it. I've got the Radar IO. It's just a pretty good add-on if you're pogging a lot to get an idea of the experience of the group. And I use Scatter for damage in that. Uyghurs obviously, and LBI. That's pretty much it. Let's see, did I forget something? I don't think so. Oh yeah, someone asked how I got the, like they said the nameplates would overlap, and I actually don't know. I never had the problem. So I'm not using anything else but the LBI's ones, and I've set it up like, let's go into names here. This is the way I've set it up, and I don't have problems with overlapping anything. So yeah. And lastly, the macros. I don't have any crazy macros. It's just mostly mouse over macros. Like I have it for all my dots, even my stunts and silence. So I can just mind bomb this guy, I can silence this guy. It's just a lot easier for me. Instead of having to swap and find the target, I can just use the mouse over. And if you're using Shadow Crash, let's just take the talent. There it is. I've got the one where it throws it at the cursor, so you don't have to. It'll just throw at my mouse. If I between these two guys, I'll just click it. It'll just throw at the target. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've got all of it by now, so if you think I missed something, just leave it in the comments and I'll try and answer you as fast as possible. But other than that, I hope this was helpful. Or, yeah. Oh, last thing, if you're gonna take my UI, the string from LBI, you go into profiles here and you just import the profile. Copy and paste it in here, import now, and you'll get the UI. Yeah, and that's it. So yeah, I'm out. Peace.